Hello, game fans. I'm your host, Sledge Riprock, welcoming you to the first ever highly anticipated, much talked about History on the Table board game draft. I'm not sure what this is all about, but I'm being paid in beer. Let's head down to the floor where Commissioner Chesty Beauregard is standing by to give us the official rules and their subsequent errata.
Thank you, Skip. Fans, teams, owners, games, welcome to the 2023 board game draft. For the many games hoping to be selected tonight, their dreams started when they were young saplings just starting to grow in a young virgin forest. After long nights, early mornings, and countless unboxing videos, for a select few games the dream becomes reality tonight. Before tonight's lucky draft picks dine in the halls of Gaming Valhalla, esteemed franchise owners, we must briefly go through tonight's rules. This is a 5-team snake draft. Bill Simone will have the first selection. Only board games and card games are eligible for selection. A game must already exist to be drafted. Drafting a game drafts all of its expansions. Drafting tri-packs or multi-packs drafts all games included in those multi-game bundles. Okay, you are drafting games with the understanding that the games you select are the only games you will own. Games, franchise owners, good luck, and let's roll for initiative.
Sledge, thank you for that brief but direct introduction, and Chesty for that very in-depth rules introduction. We're very honored to be here for the first annual historical board game draft, History on the Table board game draft. But before we get into it, why don't we introduce the teams? Let's start with our first pick, Bill.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at. My name is Bill. I've been a wargamer for about 10 years now, after picking it up 30 years after I'd stopped being a teen.
Awesome.
Nice.
Let's bounce over to Jason.
Jason from the Advanced After Combat podcast. Happy to be here.
All right, Hector.
Hello. Name's Hector. You probably heard me on the Coin Collectors podcast under the Dads in the Map banner. I'm actually a pretty young wargamer. I've only been wargaming since the start of the pandemic, so that was a little bit of a silver lining of that whole situation. Happy to be here.
Rich, you have anything you want to say?
Hey, this is Rich. You may know me from such podcasts as History on the Table. And I'm a very old war gamer. Like, I haven't been playing war games all that long, but I'm very old, so.
All right, well, this is Matt, and this is great because this is not only war games. As Chesty so eloquently put it, it's any board game, any card game. War games... We're not limited war games, which is why I wanted a diverse cast here, because I think we're going to have some crossover. Let's get into it. All right. Each team's going to have 30 to 45 seconds. I'm not going to start a timer. I'm just going to, if you get long, I'm going to put the next team up. So we're going to do snake draft. First team up is Bill.
Okay, well, I'd offered multiple times to trade down because I know, Matt, you wanted to... pretty sure you wanted to nail the U.S. Civil War, but so, hey, without further ado, since you didn't want to take it away from me, it's obvious my pick is Combat Commander Europe.
No.
I tried to pull a fast one on you.
Oh, that's not going to sit well with Matt.
I have words for you. Okay, I'm on the clock with pick number 2. Son of a bitch, Bill. This is messing my whole draft work.
I can't believe I ruined your draft by not picking your favorite game.
Well,
I
planned for... Man, I thought this was just going to be like clean and like...
That was
the
number
second
one
pick,
for me.
And I had it all mapped out. Oh,
I had a whole story. That was my first war game. I had this whole thing ready and then gone.
There it goes. Well, I got to do it then. With the second pick in the 2023 board game draft, I'll select the U.S. Civil War.
Oh, going for the throat with another solid pick from GMT.
Okay, good.
Boo.
Boring.
Take Rich's pick.
Oh, let's see if we can guess what my pick is going to be.
I wonder.
With the third pick, we're going to go with Advanced Squad Leader.
Oh, that pick is so good it gets Rate of Fire and gets to pick again. Is that in the rules?
Well, that's not what I was thinking.
Ooh.
I that's what I had down for sure.
Oh, it makes sense.
Over to Hector. You are
It's
on
over
the
to me.
clock.
Okay, I'm now split because a lot of these tactical games that I love, well, not ASL, but I hold that in high regard, are gone. So maybe I should just pick the most recent one that's got a lot of buzz. I'll pick Last 100 Yards.
The only way that pick could have been better is if it had been Knights of the Air.
Oh,
Nice.
Get that in there.
Tactical going fast. World War
Updated
II.
my draft board.
Tactical.
that was a pick.
Love it. Coming out of GMT Games, the classic Vietnam, 1965 to 1975.
Nice. That'll have to come off my board.
Ouch! So much envy on that pick, it'll give the other teams a bit of the case blue balls.
I just got that for $10 over the weekend.
Holy cow!
Wow. Let's hear about that more. Jason, you're back around.
That's right. Let me get with the back office real quick. Words coming in. Let's pull another GMT. Their draft class this year is very strong with the offensive linemen, Men of Iron tri-pack.
Oh, that pick was smarter than a Simonich set of rules.
I dislike that pick. All right.
Is it to me?
It is.
I have pulled on the series a bit, but I know it's really popular, and I do love this title. I'm going to go with Fire in the Lake to lock down that coin.
I approve.
Very
All
nice.
right. This is a tough one because now we're getting to the point where I don't know if I'm going to get my third pick, depending on what I get for the second one. So, but I'm surprised it's still there. So I got to go with a Monster War game, and I'm going to go with Pacific War.
There you go.
I thought that was going to be your first. I thought that might have been a dark horse for your first pick.
So did I.
Those are all 1 and 2 for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the 9th pick in the 2023 board game draft, Matt selects Roads to Gettysburg 2, Multiman Publishing.
Almost went with that for 2.
Yes, that pick is better than a Fleet Series reissue.
Well, all right. So y'all have picked 4 of my top 6. Obviously, I picked my top 1, but my number 2 has survived. So I'm going to have to take Command and Colors Ancients.
Very nice.
All right. And so it's right back to me. That Roads to Gettysburg 2 is killing me.
That's tough. Yeah. leaves a big hole.
Yeah, it does. Well, I didn't put any of the others on my pre-list to think about, so I'm going to just switch series completely, and I'm going to go with the Battles of the American Revolution tri-pack.
The value pick. Ladies and gentlemen, the 12th pick of the 2023 board game draft. 1832.
Ooh. Train Game makes its first
quite
appearance.
a pivot.
Oh, that pick is sadder than 2 old men playing Panzer Grenadier.
Maybe I pulled the trigger too soon.
32. I like it.
32.
I think you could have gotten that with the your last pick.
I maybe, but I got a little nervous. The war games are going fast. People are going to start jumping. Rich, over to you.
Yeah, and that's the point where you wonder if you need to get off the war games. But I got a we'll call it a borderline war game. Twilight Imperium 4.
Wow, what pivots on the third round.
TI4.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to go with Empire of the Sun.
Nice.
Excellent pick.
I just pulled that one off the shelf yesterday. I think my daughter and I are going to play it sometime soon.
Oh, so cool.
Well, gotta pull the trigger here. Let's go Stonewall Jackson's way to
Probably
need some GCACW.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with, what is that, 15? With the 16th pick, let's go with the deep classic 1830.
Operation Market Garden? Huh, more like Operation Olive Garden.
Ah, no, I think I need a train game in here. And that was it for me. can I go with games that are kind of in the pipeline? Because I've been really enjoying this train game called The Old Prince, 1870.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah. All the big train guys, they've been playing that for years now.
That is true. Yeah.
I didn't even realize it wasn't even out officially.
So what are we up to? 18 now?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to complete my pivot. I'm going to go another direction altogether. I'm going to try to round out my team here. Arkham Horror LCG.
Oh, nice.
Every expansion ever made for it.
Yep.
Yep. You get the whole kit and caboodle.
I thought my list was going to be for like the list of the people, of the regular board gamers, but
You're going pretty hard on the.
I know I am. Yeah.
One of us. One of us. All right. 19th pick overall. Going Fields of Arl.
Eurogame, Schmiro game. That's a solid pick.
Wow.
How could I forget my UA?
Yeah.
We have definitely moved on to the other side of the ocean with that. Well, unlike the GCACW, where I didn't have a backup pick, I did have a backup pick for my train game, and that will be 1846.
Solid.
That's a good one too.
Moving to the final round.
How'd we get to the final round already?
So fast.
I think I have to put in, the pandemic and the internet have allowed this to become my most played game ever with, I think, 292 when I looked earlier today.
Don't say
I'm going
it.
to have to go with it. And it's going to be Castles of Burgundy.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I think I'm going to steal yours, so Jason.
What are you guys thinking? Hold on. The hotties have to take a 30 seconds out of their 45 seconds to consider their last pick here. Should we go 6 rounds?
Please. Or please.
Bonus round?
I'm dying
Yeah.
between 2 games.
Jason's here. He can authorize a bonus round.
That's right. There's bonus. It works as all.
right.
It's just like all the other picks.
It counts.
All right. In that case, we're doing a bonus round.
All right.
For 5th round. I'm going Republic of Rome.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Pretty sure I'm going to steal Jason's pick here, but I'm going to go with innovation.
Nice.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Heartbreak.
Now I'm thinking, that Fields of Arl, just like I have to have a farming game on my list. It's just impossible for me not to. And that's a really good one. But like, since these are the, what's the prompt here? Like, these are 6 games that
These are your 6 games.
That's it.
Only
That's
games
it,
you will
yeah.
ever own in your life.
Okay, I'm gonna go with one that has a lot of replayability, which is Agricola. A lot of cards in that, a lot of expansions. So,
Well, since innovation's off the table, we'll go. And I was debating between these two anyway. We'll go Glory to Rome Black Box, which fills a similar slot, but
I've got to play that sometime.
oh, number 6 now. I wasn't prepared for this. All my games were like just alternates. You know what? Let's take it to the Euro side, and we'll go with the Rio Grande Classic Power Grid.
Oh,
nice.
good.
All the expansions.
Nice. I'm gonna loop it back around to kind of the board game sphere and pick a game dear to my heart. It's gonna be Maria.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, I've never played that. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, so now this is interesting. I didn't think we were going to get here. Do I want to go back to war games, or do I want to? I think I'm going to round out the collection, and I think I'm going to go with Spirit Island.
Oh,
Nice.
Get a good family co-op game there.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen a decision that bad since Hasbro forced Wizards to rewrite the OGL.
Looking at my list here.
Is there a game called Dead Air?
Probably.
I think I messed up. I don't have a solo game on my list. That's
Yeah,
not right.
me too.
That's the way I'm heading for my bonus pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have.
All right. With my final pick, in the 2023. My bonus pick of the board game draft of 2023. If you can't tell, I'm stalling for time because I really
Vamp.
I can't pick between these last three. I'm going to go with the big one. I'm going to say None But Heroes.
I'll be honest, that game's just gonna sit on the shelf.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I put 4 categories of games, right? War games, train games, Euros, and sports sims.
Oh,
And I assumed sports sim was going to be off the table with 5 rounds, but I think I'll sneak one in here for its solo playability. I won't call it Mr. Irrelevant out of respect for the publisher, Play Games, but I'm going to go with History Maker Golf.
Oh, golf. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
all right. That's 6 rounds of awesome board games in the books, just like that. I mean, that flew by.
I flew. What the heck?
So now what we're going to do, we're just going to have a little round table on everyone's picks before we give them the grades. And I'll start off the discussion here. But if anyone has a question, just chime in and we'll just see how this goes. And I think I have one that'll start with Bill's last pick, which is the category I wish I thought of. And now I'm realizing I don't have a sports sim. But we'll start with Rich. If you're looking at your top 6, is there a category that you feel like you don't have represented that you would like to have present on your list?
So, not really. I actually started with 6 categories, and solo was one of them. But because we're only getting 5 games, or at least I thought, I decided that I would rather have games that can be soloed. So I've got games that can be soloed in there that aren't in the solo category. So I like my categories. I didn't include sports sims, but I really don't play those very much. Anytime I ever play a sports sim, it's just because someone else has it and I play their game. So,
what about you, Hector? Are you happy with the genres you have present on your list?
Yeah, I think I have a good coverage of, all the touchstones that I like to hit with GMT, tactical, operational, CDGs, coin, all that good stuff. I touched on Euros a little bit. I think what I'm missing is like a raucous game, like a game that just has everyone screaming and yelling at each other. Tank Duel was that for me when I went to the for GMT's library. Republic of Rome is, from what I hear, like hits that nail on the head. So yeah, I kind of wish I thought about that a little bit more. Maybe put John Company in there or something.
Yeah, that's, for me, Republic of Rome replaces John Company. But like if someone was going to take Republic of Rome, maybe I pulled the trigger too soon. Then John Company was the immediate like follow up behind. I wanted that broad multiplayer game to hit. What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I think a solo game. I almost went with after Rich picked Arkham Horror, The Lord of the Rings, or like Marvel Champion, something like that. Yeah. But I can't get other people to play that. That would kind of fill that solo slot, which isn't really my favorite solo game. I don't know. I think it's a good list. It just it's a little war game heavy. I think for only. So a lot of Glory to Rome getting played around here.
Well, Bill, you mentioned you had your different categories mapped out. Did you hit them all, or is there one more you would have put on there if you could?
No, I did. It was just war, train games, Euros, and sports sims. That pretty well envelops what I play. I like it that probably the 4 games I've played the most are on I've got them. So I'm not sick of them yet. And hopefully I won't be, since these are the only 6 games I'm allowed to ever play.
If someone brings a game to you, you're allowed to play it, Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, mine. Okay. So Fields of Arle was a family harmony pick. Like, that's one of our favorite Euros. I think I would have, if I had one more pick, I would have gone something that I know the missus and I would have played a little bit more, although she loves Fields of Arle too. But other than that, sports sim, I'm kicking myself for not thinking of sports sim. I would like one on here.
Even like a racing game, something like Heat, or even CFR or something.
Charioteer.
Yeah.
Well, I think that gets to Hector's like your Rockets game. Like my last
Yeah.
choice was between None But Heroes and Dutch Inner City, which I don't know if Dutch Inner City really warrants a pick for like the 6 games you'll ever own, but my play experiences have been top 6, play
Yeah, I'm
experiences.
surprised to hear you say that because anytime I hear you talk about that game, you're just absolutely raving about it.
Yeah, it's probably first out for me. Did anyone else have a first out, like one that's outside looking in?
I think PAX Premier for me would have been my next one.
I
First
was
out, like, from
probably
your
going to
list.
have to choose between Unconditional Surrender and Age of Steam as my next pick.
What were you
Yeah,
saying?
and I already mentioned it, but Lord of the Rings would have been my next.
Yeah, I would have done a solo game. Probably Mage Knight, because I played it the most. But
And that's
Nice.
both, right? It's solo and multi.
that's
a
true.
solid pick.
Yeah. I don't know who would be crazy enough to play Mage Knight with me.
I played it
Well,
with
you're a
my
mage
daughter.
solo.
I played it with my daughter a couple times, but yeah, anything more
Oh,
than 2,
that's-
I can't imagine.
That's great. I will say, I think out of all the list here, Rich's list probably surprised me the most, especially
TI4.
after his third pick. Yeah, I was just
Oh,
like,
it's so
whoa.
good. I just played that, 3 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, definitely. I just
Yeah.
like hearing your opinions on the podcast. I thought it was just going to be like go
You thought
from
it was
going
gonna be all
to
war
Advanced
games, yeah.
Squad Leader and Pacific War and then pivoting to TI4 is
Yeah.
quite a distance.
I got a question for everyone. So, what games got stolen from you on the list? Like someone snagged it before you could say it? Because I actually only have a couple. Now, there's a couple that I didn't put out there. Like U.S. Civil War was not on my list because I knew Matt was picking ahead of me and I knew it wasn't going to be there. But for me, the only ones that I had on my list that someone took were Roads to Gettysburg and Vietnam.
Yeah, my number one picks are all that right there.
Yeah. What about
I
you,
would
Matt?
have taken Fire in the Lake, the Men of Iron Tri-Pack, Roads to Gettysburg 2. I'm hitting them
You
all
got a
there,
bunch,
aren't I?
Colin.
And Empire of the Sun would have been one in 1830. Yeah, I had a lot of mine stolen.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm the only one without a train game.
So Men of Iron Tri-Pack was a lofty 3rd or 4th pick. I think I panicked on 32, but Men of Iron Tri-Pack going at 2. Just pushed it up. I think I probably could have snuck 32 in as my 6th pick.
Yeah, Men of Iron 2. Men of Iron. I'm glad I had the snake because that's a strong one too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I'd be happy with just those 2 games, really.
Hector, what about you?
I was on the back
You
foot
mentioned
the whole-
your you mentioned
ahead.
your the newest to war games out of the 5 teams here. Did anything get stolen from you?
Yes. The pick one, Combat Commander Hero.
Oh,
that
That's
makes
my
sense.
first my first war game, and I still love it, and it has like infinite replayability. And I was like, okay, no one's gonna pick that. These guys are all hardcore. They're gonna go Pacific War.
That was a surprising first
ASL.
pick.
Yeah, and then he got swept. And great pick.
Well, in all seriousness, U.S. Civil War was probably only 3rd on my list, and I know I've been gigging Matt that it was going to be my first pick, but I had to look at the games I play most, right? And Combat Commander Europe, I play several times a month, and Commands and Colors Ancients, which I took 2nd, I play a couple games every Sunday, so that they had to be on the list.
So, just looking at your own list, not tipping your hand on how we're going to grade these, how long do you think you could take your list and really keep it the only 6 games you owned before you caved in and filled it in?
Until the next GMT email comes out.
I was going to say, I'm buying another game right now.
Yeah, it would be short-lived for me too. It would be an interesting exercise, right? For like just a
Yeah.
little bit. Like, how long can these 6 games? The problem is like one of them, Republic of Rome, that's going to happen once a year.
Yeah.
So it's a pick that I'm picking because the play experience is like nothing else. But whereas like if I'd picked John Company, I could probably pretty easily play John Company once a month, if not more often.
Yeah.
The others I
That's
could
true.
play Well, 32 would be a little infrequent, but everything else could play solo on the table.
To get myself in the right mental space to do this, I had to assume that I would have the right player, the right number of players, and the right mentality of players at my whim, right?
Sure.
So they're there when I want them there.
Yeah, I think you have to. It's probably fair.
And mine are realistic. Like my wife and I have played a lot of Glory to Rome 2-player, and it's a game we like to bring out at like dinner parties and introduce new people to it. And then Power Grid is, for a long time, I think was my most played game until innovation like bowled it over, and then now it's swamped by a dozen other games. But those are two that I can always get played.
Yeah. For me, if someone came to me and said, you can play ASL twice a week for the rest of your life if you give up every other game, I would do it.
Wow.
That is wild to me. I'm a definite kill on tactical.
Yeah, so that's an interesting
Although I guess
thing.
Men of Iron's tactical.
Yeah.
I just
well, I mean, there's outliers
II.
in each group, right? That was interesting because I thought about taking the wild pick like World in Flames or these crazy sandbox games, but and that's kind of where I thought people would go, is more lofty games. Like I did think Republic of Rome was at risk from Rich maybe, and I thought John Company would go. But unless I'm misreading this, like the U.S. Civil War feels like the most sandboxy game.
Vietnam.
Okay, yeah. See, I still haven't played it.
Oh yeah, that campaign is wild.
That's got to happen this year, Matt.
Yes, it does.
That's another one I was just looking at with my daughter.
But
I mean, Agricola to a certain extent is like a sandboxy Euro. I mean, it's still worker placement, but you have so many different avenues to explore with how you play your cards and what strategies you go after.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as far as like just unreachable monster games, Case Blue is on my list just because I didn't know if people were going to take my other stuff. And I thought, well, if I can only have 5 games the rest of my life, that one would take up my time. But it's not really high on the list, obviously.
Yeah. I had a fun question. Which list do you guys think would take the most money to acquire today?
I don't. Well, Glory to Rome might be the most expensive game on the list.
I'm mortgaging my house for that.
Glory to Rome. Yes, and then you got a hand make top.
Yep,
that's true. Yeah, see, Rich has it hands down because
every
included all expansions, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then if you're getting the Avalon Hill Republic of Rome, that's insane. But yeah, I didn't think about all Rich's modules for ASL.
So mine's also the budget list.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You got those battle packs for Europe, but they aren't that expensive. They're like $15.
Actually, the hardest thing, Mediterranean, is technically an expansion, so that one's a little pricey.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not a standalone. Pacific and is a standalone. Mm-hmm. And I think Resistance requires Europe to play too, so there you go. Resistance also costs a little pretty penny right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of you have to pivot to a second choice? Like I said, John Company was my backup to Republic of Rome. I guess, Bill, you maybe swapped in 46 for 30? Did anyone else?
I had it on my list, assuming someone might grab 30.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of banking on what you and Hector did, though, and not take the quote-unquote vanilla version. I'd rather play 30 any day of the week over almost any of the more modern implementations or visions. But 46 fills that niche to me as well, is approachable and varied in outcome, but not too challenging to get people to play.
That's a really fun one. I like that one. I was going to pick 1830. Jason stole it from under me. And
I almost went 82 just because I didn't expect it. The 30 to get to even that deep. So I had 82 as my number one, but when it was still there, I had to take 30.
Hector, would you have taken both Combat Commander and Last 100 Yards if they were both there, or was Last 100 Yards a sub in for that?
Last 100 Yards was a sub in.
Okay.
I think 2 tactical. I love tactical, but I think having 2 on a list of what I thought was 5 was a little bit much. So Last 100 Yards has kind of a recency bias for me, and I've been really enjoying learning the system.
Can we mention Matt's 3 American Civil War games on a list of 6? It's a little heavy.
I like
all
what
of
I like.
The war
right?
games are, yeah.
So, Roads to Gettysburg 2 is not only one of the very best just games ever made, it's just a value pick as well. It's the same reason why I had Men of Iron Tri-Pack on my list. Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 was the backup to Roads to Gettysburg 2. Like, I had GCACW playing down to Battle Above the Clouds. And it's why I like I just don't have a ton of experience with it, but the Battles of the American Revolution Tri-Pack. I mean, obviously, like saying all of ASL, all of Combat Commander, all of Last 100 Yards, that's great value. You're getting a ton. But in terms of actually one box, that's why Roads to Gettysburg 2 gets up there.
Yeah.
And then None But Heroes, when we did the bonus round, I wanted a tactical game, and Last 100 Yards is off the list. Men of Iron is off the list, and then you're talking either Front Toward Enemy or None But Heroes in terms of my tactical interest. And ASL was off the list, and I love Front Towards Enemy, but it solos for shit. It's a terrible solo experience. None But Heroes covers my favorite battle of the American Civil War. It offers a tactical experience, and it solos really well. And it's like the whole battlefield presented on the table is an outstanding sight. So that's the reasoning why, the justification I'm providing for picking 3 U.S. Civil War games, but I'm not surprised.
No, it's very blatant right there. That's awesome.
Was there any game that you guys thought should have been at least on one list that isn't? Like, if you take all our lists into consideration.
John Company for me. I thought one of you for sure was going to take John Company. Either Rich, I know you've been loving it, and Hector, I thought maybe you were going to pick John Company too.
Yeah, it was up there definitely. But your farm pick just really threw my strategy out the window. Then I'm just like, I have to get something on there.
A deck of cards is another one. I thought someone was going to go cheesy with it, just especially with like Jason. We've been chit chatting about trick taking games and stuff, and playing spades, playing the crew. I almost thought about the crew over something like spades, but
I had it as like it could almost be in the power grid slot for me.
That's
such
the beauty of Maria.
Solid game.
There
you go. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I don't know if you could play. There's no face cards, but you figure something out.
Yeah, play something that I don't know, something that doesn't use face cards. That's right. I didn't even think about the versatility of Maria. It's two games
these
in one.
begging Agricola cards are the king. The Fire the Lake events. That's the queen. Yeah. I want to say I almost feel like Atlantic Chase got a little robbed. I really enjoyed my plays of that, and it's kind of very unique in the wargaming sphere from what I've seen.
I agree, it's unique, and I thought about naval games on my list, and the ones that top it are just like, do I want one of the fleet games on my list? So I didn't give Atlantic Chase that much thought, but that's not a comment about Atlantic Chase at all. I mean, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm a little sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rich.
I'm a little surprised Dien Bien Phu was no one's list, because the combination of the playability and the complexity and interesting decisions on that one seems like it would be very replayable.
I think if there were like 10 people drafting, we probably, because it's like Atlantic Chase, Dien Bien Phu, they're kind of deeper cuts. Like here, other than even, I would say, like the top 5 of everybody, those are almost, like anybody could take those. A wargamer could take those 5 games and really be happy with them, despite their preference or proclivities toward whatever games. They're all pretty solid picks.
No Blind Swords is maybe a small surprise to me.
Sure.
That and Levy and Campaign were,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
maybe even
yeah.
more so Levy and Campaign. But when I was going through my draft list, I thought about Blind Swords Bill, and then I really thought I wasn't going to draft Levy and Campaign, but I thought Nevsky was just going to. I mean, Hector, we've been burning through those games left and right, and Jason, you sent me a message about Nevsky this morning.
Yeah,
Like, you know, like it's on everyone's mind.
You caught
Well,
me on
Hector
a bad
mentioned-
day, Matt, 'cause I'm like losing pretty bad. So, if you caught me like a week ago, I would have been happy, but I'm getting wrecked.
Hector mentioned recency bias, and I almost have the opposite. Like those two games are a little bit too new for me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I want the like decade-old games.
Now, Jason, I think Glory to Rome was your Deserted Island dad's pick.
It was, yeah.
Would, if Rich did not take Innovation, were you taking Innovation or were you taking Glory to Rome?
Glory to Rome was number one.
Okay.
Yeah. Although it's tough, I think Innovation is probably a little bit more playable for new player, but I think Glory to Rome's a deeper play. But man, you can really knock those Innovation games out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so fun. It's so fun to like just ore someone to death.
Sweet. All right. Any other questions? Should we grade them? But if anyone has a question, chime in. Okay. Let's grade them. We'll do, here's how it works. We each have an A, a B, and a C, and a D to give out. We'll go D. You want to go A down or D up as we reveal? D up. Okay. Right, so we'll start with the D's.
Yeah.
Take a
Let's
moment
do
here.
D up to get those out of the way because it feels awful to give somebody a D.
Oh, I think it's hilarious, but yeah, please no one take offense to it.
That's right.
So we're going to give out all the D's, then all the C's, and then
Yeah. I'm making
Okay,
a list of
gotcha.
mine real quick, and then we'll do all our D's. Then we'll do all
Alright.
our C's.
I got mine.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, because now in my mindset is my A is like the one I would. Those would be my 6 games, right?
Well, I will tell you, there's one person who I have zero crossover with as far as what I wanted, and so that's my D by default.
Interesting.
It must be me because I have no train games on there, and I think it's going to be reciprocated.
Oh, I thought the Pacific War Empire the Sun rivalry was gonna. Yeah.
All right, let's go reverse draft order. So we'll start with Jason's D.
Jason, show us your
Bill.
D.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'll be getting quite a few low scores.
It's
Any reason why?
Well, the train game is probably of the big 18XX. I just don't care for 46. I played a lot of CNC Ancients back in the day. That's probably my favorite of the 5. I bounced off of the Battles of the American Revolution for some reason. History Maker Golf, I think, is a game that now I might go buy. I think History Maker Baseball. They do second season football, right?
Yes.
Play.
Yep.
Yeah. I have played so much of that. So that was kind of a dark horse pick for me. That was like, But I think as far as train games go, that was kind of the one.
Very good, Hector.
Nice. I'm gonna go with Rich. Wait, no, this is D.
D.
Never mind, sorry.
Spoilers.
Oh no. I'm gonna go with probably, as much as it hurts me, it's probably gonna be Matt. Fields of Arl
Love it.
It hurts really bad to give that a D, but you know, I'm just not a big Civil War buff.
Just too much Civil War. Yeah.
I've never even
Now-
heard of None But Heroes.
Okay. I understand the None But Heroes. And look, if you're not in the U.S. Civil War,
Don't get
cult-
that started on the
no,
U.S. Civil War.
just a brief aside. I'm not even going to talk about the U.S. Civil War because I understand where Hector's coming from. But Hector, even if you're not a
Are you
Civil
pleading
War,
your case?
no, I'm pleading to Hector, and I think all 3 of you, except Hector, will agree with me here. even if you're not a Civil War buff, GCACW is something that, if given the opportunity, you should try out.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Way
definitely.
more than the U.S. Civil
I mean,
War.
I am sold to try it out, and you sold me before, and you sold it just talking on the podcast. I definitely think I'll have a good time. It's the bucket of dice I don't really lean towards, and the map makes my eyes go cross-eyed because it's so
I
huge.
love the maps. Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm down to try it and maybe change my opinion.
All right, Rich.
Yeah, it's going to be Bill for me. It's going to get the D. No offense. I look at Bill's list, and there's just like for every one of his, I can glance over to a different column and find one that I would rather play. So,
Sure,
like instead of 1846, I'd rather play 1830. Instead of Combat Commander, I'd rather play ASL. So, somebody's got to take it. Bill can take it.
Hey, to be fair, I'd rather play 1830 than 1846 too.
Sorry about that.
All right, my D is going to, and this hurts because 3 of these 5 games are brilliant, but they also picked one of my least favorite games of all time.
Ooh,
Rich, you're getting the D.
Really?
Wow.
Which one?
Spirit
Is
Island?
it Spirit
I
Island?
hate Spirit Island.
That's the
Really?
bonus
Oh,
pick.
man.
You're going to nail me for the bonus pick.
I am.
They count.
They count.
Yeah. They
Also,
count. Like it.
It really
Yeah,
seems
that's
specific.
that's a family pick though. But
I
family
understand.
likes co-op games. So
Yeah, Arkham Horror LCG is one of my favorite co-op games. My wife hates it. I mean, like one time we were playing and my character died and we were close to the end and she's like, "I'm dead." It's like, "I'm not gonna play it out." I'm like, "No, you're dead. I'm dead."
Love it.
Pacific War is amazing and outstanding. I love Pacific War, but this is really just a spite pick for Spirit Island. All right, Bill.
Well, hey, it's not because it's reciprocal, but I'm going to have to go with Rich's list as well. ASL, I just don't get it. Pacific War, hey, that's a top tier pick. No desire to play Twilight Imperium, no matter what number comes after it. I sold Arkham Horror LCG. I don't get the love for innovation, and Spirit Island just doesn't draw me.
there
Very
you go.
good.
Everybody's got the right to be wrong.
And all 5 of us are showing it.
All right, let's snake around to Bill. Your C.
My C. Well, this is where it got tough because my criteria has been who matched up with me the most. And so Rich was 0, as I already said. And then the of the 3 remaining, I have 2 of you that matched two with me, and 1 I'm going to call 2.5. But simply by the fact that the 2 that match for me are in the number 2 and number 3 slot, I'm going to have to say my C goes to Hector. Man, I love the Fire in the Lake and the Empire of the Sun. I would have gladly picked those if they'd come to me. Last 100 Yards, it's not like I haven't had the opportunity to play at the past 2 historic fests with Mike Denson, the designer, being right there. Just haven't done it. And Agricola, that's another game I've sold off, but that was mostly because no one in my family liked it. But anyhow, that's where I have to go with my C.
Nice. All right, my C. I'm super intrigued by History Maker Golf, but it's got to be Bill. Combat Commanders never. It's more of who I've played with and not the game. I've just never had a good play experience with it. 46 is fine. It's like it's moved so far down the list, and I really like Battles of the American Revolution tri-pack, but maybe not as much as the B's and A's. So that's it for me. Rich.
My C is going to be for Hector. I love Fire in the Lake, Empire of the Sun, Last 100 Yards, bottom half. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, good. My computer just went black. I want to make sure I didn't lose it. And the bottom half of the list, I'm not as impressed with it. But I've never played the old
Have
Prince.
you tried Maria?
So that's one I got to get on my list.
It's not as good as everyone says.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
it's even better.
like I said, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, if I look at the train games that are on the list, 1830 is going to be my favorite of those 4. So,
I want to
Heard
change my
that,
D
Jason.
answer. Can I change my D answer? I want it to be Jason.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking about a swap here. All right, Hector.
I'm going to give the C right back to Bill. I love Europe. Combat, Commands and Colors, Ancients doesn't really interest me much. And History Maker Golf. Never even heard of the game. Barely heard of the sport. Is it a dexterity game?
No,
Looking at pictures,
definitely
it
not.
is not.
It's a sim.
It's a sim. Okay.
If you like statistics and cards and flipping cards and rolling dice, you like it. But oh yeah, and you got to like golf an awful lot too.
That's right. If you
Fair
like
enough.
sports sims, check out play.com.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, they're great.
That's with 2 A's.
That's
That's
Hector's
right. Yep.
next rabbit hole.
Yep.
Hockey blast. All right, Jason.
I'm giving mine to Rich. No train game. Innovation is the saving grace, but TI4 and like Matt said, Spirit Island. And Pacific War is too much for me. ASL is just not my bag.
All right. Sweet. Let's mix it up so we're not snaking around. I'll go with B's, and we'll figure out what the order is after that. My B is, even though Jason's side comment about the old Prince, I'm still Hector gets my B. Amazing list. I mean, that picking between Jason and Hector for A and B. I've just never played Empire of the Sun, and although I've never played Vietnam 1965-75, I have way more interest to play 65-75. So great list, Hector. All your picks had they had the fundamentals, they had the unteachables, they had the
Yep.
but their combine
The je ne
performance.
sais quoi.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Let's go to the right, Rich.
So we're up to B's now.
We're on
Well,
Bs.
that's going to be you, Mr. Matt.
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously I'm telling who my A as well at this point is, but I mean, Vietnam 65-75, that was on my list. That would have been one I had picked. You both have a GCACW game. You probably have the edge there because I think Road to Gettysburg 2 is probably a little better than Stonewall Jackson. He's got the better train game. So I don't know. It's close, but I think he's going to get my A and you'll get my B.
Fair. Over to Hector.
This is probably my hardest choice, but I'm going to go with the person that has 2 games I really love, 2 games I want to love, and 2 games I could leave, but the other games make up for it. That's Rich. Rich B.
What are the 2 you love?
Twilight Imperium 4 is a great time, and Innovation is such a cool game and such like a tightly designed game and a really good experience. I really want to sink my teeth into both Pacific War and ASL, but I need a large swath of time to get into those. So hopefully, I don't know, sometime in my life I'll be able to do that.
Nice. Jason.
My B is you, Matt.
All right. Even with all the Civil War stuff, huh?
Even with all the Civil War stuff, yeah, it's a solid list. Rose to Gettysburg is pretty heavily favored there. Republic of Rome is one I want to play, and then 32 is just another that's just such a classic design.
All right, wrapping around to Bill.
Yeah. Hey, keep it going. Matt, you're my B as well.
All right.
Boy, that is really, as I'm looking at you, the spreadsheet that you're updating, we're doing this. Jason's going to owe us a lot of money.
Oh, God, yeah.
What the heck?
Very good. Let's go, Rich, for your A.
Well, only one guy left. That's Jason.
Yeah. What was the
crowd goes wild.
defining fact? Was Vietnam the pushing factor there? The deciding
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so Glory to Rome is a game I've never played. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I think him slipping that in at 5 is probably a steal. But his top 4 are just amazing. I mean, Vietnam, Men of Iron, Stonewall Jackson's Way 2, great GCACW game in 1830. Yeah, that's great. That's a great top 4.
Yeah.
I never played Power Grid either, but even without knowing
wow.
much about that one, yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Hector.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pair it with Rich said. 1830 is just such a good game. I haven't played Vietnam, but I do want to try that out, and I think the Men of Iron tri-pack will fill the kind of tactical, I don't know, it's like cinematic kind of experience that I want out of games. Glory to Rome's beautiful. I could maybe take Power Grid, but it's not Spirit Island, so it gets the benefit of that.
I almost went Concordia. Would that have helped?
Oh,
probably the same for me. If Rich would have just skipped his bonus turn, I would have picked him for 100%.
And this bonus for counting.
Vitriol. Yeah. Wow.
all right, Jason.
Mine goes to Hector.
Oh, cool.
Despite the old prints, yeah, I don't get it. Maria is a game I've never tried, but been fascinated by. Agricola, as far as Euros go, is, you could do a lot worse. Fire in the Lake's my favorite coin game. As far as World War II tactical games, Last 30 Yards is probably where it's at for me. It's very innovative. I like what he's done with that design. And Empire of the Sun, it seems like one of those lifestyle games that I could just kind of play and play and play, especially if you put in like the magazine editions in there. So yeah,
it also comes with like the smaller scenarios that you could actually bust out and teach maybe newer gamers.
Yeah,
like the small South Pacific scenario.
So despite all the World War II in there, that's the one for me.
Wow. All right, Bill.
So, hey, my number 1 goes to Jason as well. No surprise there, I think, for folks who are paying attention. Of his top 4, Men of Iron would have been one I picked easily, 1830 easily. Stonewall Jackson's Way was probably going to be my second pick in the GCA CW series. And the only reason Vietnam hasn't been on my list is I've never played it because I'm a primarily solo player most of the year, so that's just not a game for solo. So it's a great list.
Do you play Combat Commander Europe solo?
No, that I play online all the time. Yep. There's folks who put out ways to play it solo. It's not something I've ever tried.
Sure.
Look, there was an evening one night a year ago or so where we were in, was it Antioch? The Fortress of Antioch?
Yeah.
And Jason marched out of his little castle and pulled off the greatest damn hinge maneuver I've ever seen on a battlefield. And ever since then, Men of Iron Tri-Pack has just lived in this place of honor in my mind. And so I'm going to echo mostly what Bill said there with not playing Vietnam 65-75, but Stonewall Jackson's Way is another just hell of a value. Men of Iron Tri-Pack is the perfect balance between Commands and Colors Ancients and SPQR and makes it just a great experience. I'm not a 30, I'm not horned up for 30 like everyone else is, but I do like 30. It's, I don't know, like in my top 6. And that's like enough, to get an A. Yeah.
Top 6 train games?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Whew.
What's 1 for you? Oh, 32?
That's
32.
What's 5?
30. Oh, it's 32. 32, 41, 17, Old Prince, and then probably 30. So 30 is 5 probably.
Interesting.
Nice. Awesome.
Well, hey, we have a clear winner and a clear loser, at least judged by the folks in the room.
Here's the interesting question, though. Is there anyone here that would take their list and trade it for another list?
On a permanent basis?
Top to bottom. Like, if I said, Matt, obviously you're not going to trade with me, but Matt, would you take your list and completely trade it top to bottom for Jason's?
On a permanent basis?
Yeah.
No, I haven't played.
Yeah.
Not if I haven't played a third of them. I haven't played Glory to Rome or Power Grid.
Yeah. So there you go. We're all happy
Yeah,
with
same
our
here.
lists.
Shit, I haven't played half of them. I haven't played Vietnam, but I just want to play Vietnam. I don't know. Is anyone?
We would just need all of us to live in the same community so we could all game from each other's lists. I think
Sounds
that'll
like a
be the
good
best.
plan. We need
Yeah.
We're gonna need more. If we're gonna play Vietnam, though, we're gonna need more than a game day in Colombia, Matt. We're gonna need a game week.
Well, sweet. I appreciate everyone taking the time, giving their Monday night off. We should do this again in a
Super
year,
fun. Yeah.
and then not change our picks. And so these are off the table for all time. And then
Yeah.
maybe like, hey, I'll trade you my.
Mhm.
I wouldn't trade any of these. I'll trade you my Roads to Gettysburg 2, knowing that I'm going to draft onto Richmond. But
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Matt, I'll trade you Spirit Island for US Civil
get
War.
out of here. Bill, I want to go back to because I didn't cheat per se, but I did look at everyone's top 20 list that everyone submitted last fall.
Oh gosh, you expect people to be consistent over time?
No, but I saw U.S. Civil War at the top. I guess I'm a little surprised that you did not pick U.S. Civil War first.
Well, it kind of comes down to what I get played.
Okay.
I went through a stretch about a year ago where I got U.S. Civil War played, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in a 2-month period.
Nice.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I was getting no better at it. And I was starting to, it seemed a little repetitive to me, actually a little bit. So it's dropped down a hair. It's probably my number 3 game right now.
Okay. Hector and I think Jason too. No Through the Ages for either of you?
That's probably one of my top 3 favorite games. I was kind of drafting this, and like, if this list were to go out to the Discord and have people vote, I don't know if that's what you're planning to do.
Yeah, sure am.
I was trying to kind of capture that audience as well. But,
Wow. Out and out pandering. I like
I
it.
love it.
Know your audience, and
Love
we're
it.
not it.
yeah, they just have great taste, and I just think that if I pick good games, they'll vote for mine. No, but Through the Ages is like one of my favorite games. But the app is just so much better than the real life experience.
I don't know that I'll ever put it out on the table again because of the app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think of it as a board game anymore. It's a BGA app game.
Yeah. I've only played that one on the app. I've never played it on the table.
It's so fiddly with all the little cubes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The card row of 15 cards.
But is it a good game?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, one final question, at least from me, and I didn't prep this, so if you don't have a response, that don't feel obligated. Is there any, and this is bold prediction time, is there anything on the horizon that you could see being like your next pickup? I'm not asking it to replace any of your top 6 or the 6 you've selected. For example, we have I don't think Border Reavers gets there for me, but On to Richmond probably does pass up Roads to Gettysburg for me just because of the topic. Does anyone else have something on the horizon that they think could be a draft pick?
That's the one that immediately came to mind for me. That's my most anticipated game right now.
100%. You mentioned Levian Campaign, and I'm loving Nevsky, Inferno less so, but I think when Plantagenet comes out, that might be up there. That's a time frame that I'm super, super interested in, and if it clicks like Nevsky is with the added bonus of being England and all the everything going on around there, that I could see that creeping in.
So definitely on to Richmond. I've got that. I can't wait for that to get here. But one that maybe because we've been waiting for it for, I think, about 7 years is Mr. President. That's been a big one, and I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully it comes yet this year.
I thought you were going to say Battle Hymn Volume 2.
That's what I was going to say. That as a joke for Matt.
For me, it would be this coin that's in the pipeline called this Pure Land, which is kind of based in medieval Japan. I'm not too.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, slightly interested in the subject matter, but I remember talking to some of like the developers or maybe designers of the game, and just the amount of hype internally, like within the team of GMT. I went to their warehouse, I think like last year or something like that, and it seemed like that game was the game that everyone was most excited about what it offered. And so I'm gonna go with that, just because like their excitement was infectious.
Nice. I do have one more to throw out there, and I've talked about it a couple times, but the more I look at it and the more I read about it and what's coming is Winter's Victory, which is coming out in June. And I'm really getting a strong GCACW and Napoleonics collide.
Is that a New England Simulations game?
That's their next release.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. It's coming out in June, and it looks gorgeous. But that's really interesting. It's called, going back to Hector's, I didn't want to jump all over that because hearing that there's like internal hype for it, that's pretty cool. It's called This Pure Land. Is that what it was? All right, folks. Thank you again for stopping by. Sledge and Chesty, thank you again for being here tonight. And everyone, everyone listening to this, we'll once this is edited and out, we'll put a little link in the History on the Table Discord. You'll find a link to that down in the show notes, and a link to Jason and Hector's podcast appearances, all that stuff. That'll be down below, but there's also going to be a little poll where you can give everyone a draft grade, much like we did. No one wins anything except for pride, honor, and no shame. So, sweet. Thank you, everyone.
Love it.
See you guys.
Thanks.